What's up, everyone? It's Dante Suave, United World Sports with Mystah Jay. From what I'm
Going on,
hearing, I had a
everybody?
horrible week and I'm pissed. Um, Once again, from what he tells me, I was sitting up there. I gotta start writing my picks down because I was sitting up there cheering on the Buccaneers, forgetting that I picked Seattle. But then I thought about it when the game was over. I'm like, did I pick Seattle or did I pick the Bucks? I was like, I don't remember. It was, I, I got last week
That
mixed
was
up with
one
this
more
week
split.
when I picked against the Patriots, but I picked for the Bucks. That was last week. So
Yeah.
all right, but we're gonna start off with some baseball talk and run through that real quick, and then we're gonna get over to the college, and then we're gonna run straight to the NFL
The
and
anarchy.
the nightmare that was everything. Are there any shockers in the playoffs for you so far?
Not really. Hold on. Bless me. Allergy season sucks. Um, the way the Brewers came out and just manhandled the Cubs, I was not expecting that, but it's Milwaukee. I don't nothing is surprising me right now with any of them. I would say right now, Toronto is probably your should be your odds on favorite to win it all. I would not put it past anybody else with that
Yeah,
because they pitching they that pitcher that they had out there last night, they had 11 strikeouts, and then Glad Jr. hitting that grand slam. They making the Yankees look pedestrian, and I didn't think anybody could really do that on a regular basis. I had totally, and that's on me. I normally follow baseball on a regular basis, but watching, I didn't pay attention to how Toronto shot through and got the number one seed. I was like, wait a minute, what? When I started taking a look at it, I'm like,
yeah. Well,
dang,
everybody else fell off because the Yankees was up there first, and then they
yep.
fell, and then the Tigers was up there for a while. Then they started falling off,
Hmm.
and then the Mariners they kind of snuck up there on everybody. They was
The Mariners been good all season.
right.
I think that people still, it's part of that West Coast thing. A lot of people, well, no, I can't really say that because everybody paid attention to San Diego and the Dodgers all season.
Right.
So I can't really say West Coast on there.
It just
But
depends
for
on the
some reason,
team.
for some reason they just did like this.
Right.
Even though they got the home run leader with the catcher and with Riley, and then they have been a pretty good team for a couple of seasons. I mean, that's we always joke and say that that's the Reds Northwest with all the players that they didn't got from us with Castillo and Suarez up there. But I mean, I think it's going to be Toronto and Seattle. I just don't see Detroit pulling it out unless Detroit pulls it out at home. If it goes back to Seattle, Detroit's not beating Seattle in Seattle for a game five. They're not going to do that. And then Toronto, I think Toronto just got the Yankees number right now. So I think it'll
Yeah.
be Toronto and Detroit by the
Yeah.
end of this week.
Yeah.
And then
Toronto been spanking them all year
I want to for some reason I just don't trust Philly. I don't trust Philly. But
because
the
how they've
Dodgers,
been doing the past couple of years. Like every time everybody get hype on them, they end up fizzling out.
but I've been having questions about how the Dodgers have been managing their team. This I think they didn't put so much emphasis on Otani, and then uh Hernandez has been clutching, hitting his home runs, but you're not hearing a lot from Mookie. You're not hearing a lot from shoot. Kershaw is pitching out of the bullpen,
Right.
so it's like, are they really the mighty Dodgers, or can they be taken out? So, but Milwaukee has been. I mean, we get to see Milwaukee too much here in Cincinnati, and quite frankly, if it could be a Milwaukee Seattle championship, just like it was with Indiana and OKC for the NBA, I'm all for it. Just to give a new some new type of a new champion in there for it.
Um,
But that's
Obviously, this my first year. I'm gonna be in it more. I'm gonna be into it a lot more next year. From what I've noticed, the Dodgers might be banking on the fact that it's gonna come around. Unfortunately, they've been kind of doing that all year, so it's been looking real ugly. Um,
mhm,
from what I'm able to notice. So, but this just it seems like a situation where, as it's looking, the only team you know it's looking like it's probably gonna be there is the Blue Jays. If if
mhm.
if other than that, you can't really say that you know for a fact that anybody else can go just because of how everybody played going into the because even the Brewers, you thought the Reds were done because they were the last three games. So
Man,
you know you
and I was
thought
partially right. They was done, but they just had to get to the next step before they were done.
right,
I mean,
right.
I just thought that you would think from revisionist history that you're like, no, Reds ain't gonna pull this. They beat them 2 out of 3. The Reds got a shot, and then they go against the Dodgers. It's like, well, okay. So I can't get mad at that.
Right.
I, I it, I just don't. I don't see the Dodgers being strong enough to take out Milwaukee. I don't. If it gets to that point, I don't see. I think the Dodgers will do what they normally do and wet the bed, and then they might prove me wrong, but Milwaukee might wet the bed. I mean, he might drink all the brew that they want to and mess that up. But the National League doesn't look like they're going to come out of there with that. Whoever comes out of American League will probably win the World Series. The staff, the pitching staffs, and the batting from 1 through 9 leans heavily towards the American League than does the National right now. So we'll
Gotcha.
see how that goes. We definitely will see how that goes.
Is there
All right, enough
anybody?
about
Oh, okay.
that.
All right.
Enough about that.
Enough about that.
Enough about that. We got too much college football to talk about. I saw something today that made me crack up laughing. And
What's
this
that?
goes back into my argument that I said a couple weeks ago. There should not be a preseason top 25. Here's the reason why. Your preseason number 1 was who?
Texas.
Texas. Texas is no longer ranked. Your preseason number
What?
2 was who?
Penn State. Okay.
They're no longer
So
ranked.
so wait a minute. Now let's be
Hold on. Come
fair.
on. Come on.
Let's be
Hold on.
fair. How many times since you've been watching college football, just go back as far as you can remember,
Mm-hmm.
how many times has that not panned out?
The last one I can remember where a preseason number 1 fell out was USC.
Okay.
That's the last one. Now, you also got to remember that was an era where it was spread out a little bit more evenly than it is right now. It's real top heavy with the Power 4. It's real before you had the Power 6. So now it's just the power. Now it's the Power 4 because you had the SEC, the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, Pac 12, and then who was the fifth one? It was another one that was in there, and then you had the Big East, but the Big East dissolved. So that I think that was the last time when even the Big East was in there because that was when UC was actually good in the Big East. So that was when it used to be the Power 6. But I would have the reason why I'll always say that is that college football more than anything they hedge their bets on what they see in the potential before they see the players out there in the field.
This is what they should get knocked for. They should get knocked for picking Texas because they didn't pick Texas because of what they thought the entire team was. They picked
No,
Texas because of what they thought Mr.
Arch
Archie
Manning
Manning was going to be. Now,
with the returning people that came from last year that went to the tournament.
that, to me, because of what all the talk was, it was Arch.
And that might be the case. But then with that one there, so then your next question would be, why in the world did you think Penn State was number 2? Because Penn State was a
The,
semifinalist.
the way Penn State played and the way their quarterback played, while it was true that up against certain teams they kind of fall off,
Mm-hmm.
they were kind of figuring that Ohio State was going to have to figure it out starting over. Plus, I'm sure they probably looked at their schedule and was like, okay, they should be able to win this game, be able to win this game, be able to win this game, compared to an Ohio State, which you have admitted, whether you like them or not, they got a
Oh yeah,
cupcake, they got a cupcake schedule.
right. So
So so
so
they were figuring Penn State's probably going to beat most of the teams on their schedule, so they gave them a boost that they shouldn't have gave them. Because at the end of the day, you have to pay attention to the pattern. I understand giving people a chance
yeah,
to have a moment to shine, but you got to pay attention to patterns. There that way you don't fall into, oh my God, what happened?
right.
It's you know
And that's
um
what we're falling into.
right. And well,
Because
I didn't fall
that's
into it because
but
I heard what they
we
said
ain't even
and I was like, okay.
we didn't even get to number 4. Clemson. Clemson was number 4.
Yeah, but they
this has been
that's
this
faith
has
in
been
Dabo. That was faith in
right.
Dabo.
That's why I said that's why I'm not against the rankings. I'm not saying that I'm against the rankings. What I'm saying is that let them play at least into October, then start releasing them. Because then you start seeing the flaws that you might not have seen in the preseason.
Well, they don't have a
And then
preseason.
you be able, huh?
They don't have a
Right.
preseason.
Right. But I'm saying, like, if you're basing your rankings off of spring practice and everything, spring practice in the off season, and you coming in there, you can sit up there and say, these are the 25 teams that I believe are at the top of the thing without listing them. We'll be fine by saying these are top 25 teams. Don't
But
list
people
them.
gonna want to know. People gonna want to know, like who you think is better than who.
Right,
That's
but
what
that
that
creates a
whole
debate. Right, but
right.
that creates a debate. Instead of putting a number next to it, you leave it free to where you can sit there and say, out of these 25 teams, who you think is better than this one? Who you think is better than this one? And then you start looking at those matchups instead of having a number next to it. You
Nope.
start looking at those matchups to
Got to
where
put
you
a
sit
number
there and
next
do it.
to it, or else you ain't answering the question.
Because
I
if that's the case, but then the number becomes irrelevant just like what we said with Notre Dame. How was Notre Dame still top 25 and they were 0-2? You see,
because of the new premise.
right,
The new
but you
premise
see,
of just because they lose don't mean that they lose a spot. That as soon as I heard that last year, I knew. I'm like, so basically you add more minutiae to everything at the end. At the end, you're still gonna further complicate it
right.
because it's still gonna be people pissing and moaning that oh, well, I mean, look at who they lost to. How did they not lose a spot at all? That was the whole premise of if you lost. That was the whole fight of y'all better get out there and y'all better beat the brakes off of everybody. Don't you lose not one game. because
And see,
and
and this
that
is
helped
where
put the pressure bust pipes.
and it pains for me to even think this after all I've said over the past couple of weeks, but I have to put this out there in the ether right now. The number 26 ranked team in the nation is UC right now. They're just outside the top 25 in votes on
Mm-hmm.
both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you wonder if UC wins out and they win the Big 12 and Notre Dame wins out, does Notre Dame get a higher seed?
Probably.
Because UC hasn't even touched the rank yet. And UC is not going to play anybody that's going to be in that level of it.
Already,
Yeah, I
so
already
then you
know.
answering your own question.
Right. But that is why it's mind blowing when it comes to that, because you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, how can a one-loss team be ranked lower than a two-loss team that lost games earlier on in the season? And UC's loss against Nebraska probably will be the handcuff against them.
I can answer that.
But
Who have they played how did those teams do?
Ex-
You see
right. And
you see they in the Big 12, so they already got something counting against them. You just said that they lost
exact
to a big team, a Big Ten team.
Big
Remember,
Ten team.
don't turn them into TCU. You remember how that worked out.
Right.
You
I
remember how
remember that
that
one.
worked. You remember how that worked out? People was mad. Like, we going undefeated. You let our team in here. You let us. We some underdogs. We some monsters. And it was over by it was over before the first quarter was
It was
over.
only about the first quarter.
Right.
But this is where it's like now everything I can basically take everything from from last week's episode and just
Yeah.
kind of ball it up, just go like this. Because everything that I said, the praise that I gave to James Franklin for how they fought back, man, get that shit out of here. You went to UCLA with a backup coach, a backup OC, a backup DC, a
And
quarterback who had been ostracized, and you throttled them. You
and
got throttled by him.
and what is it that we always talk about with a lot of these teams, whether it's the NFL, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the I'm getting back into soccer, so I don't know about that yet. No, I'm not quite up on hockey either. But the main ones, basketball, both basketballs, both footballs. There are certain teams that are good, but you notice by actually watching them that they don't
They're not really
always
that.
come out with the level that their ranking may have them at. Just like we talked about, I said I was gonna pick the Bills, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots beat them. And
Yeah.
same thing with the punk ass Bucks. I said I won't be shocked if they win, but I just gotta know because of who they played at the time. I gotta know. I gotta see some consistency. Play somebody tougher. Let's bring in a tougher
Mm-hmm.
defense that may put some pressure on Baker. Because at the end of the day, just like my other people that I talk about pressure bust pipes, sometimes things do get a little interesting. That's why the games always stay close with Baker when he tends to play defenses that play the offensive lines in front of him really tough, and that just makes for a longer day. So yeah. So and
I just when it came down to college football this weekend, when it came down to football as a whole this weekend, it was you can't take what you saw as fact. That is the best way I could put it because you had Penn State roll out there. You would have thought Penn State, after losing a whiteout game, going all the way out west to the Rose Bowl, you would have thought that they would have been up for that. For them to lay that egg,
no, if you're being honest, and the whiteout game wasn't the only game I watched by them.
Mhm.
They were in grinders.
Mm-hmm.
They've been in grinders all season.
Yeah.
So the question is where has their mentality been all season? Because if you got the number one, you got to understand it don't matter what's going on at home. It don't matter what's going on with your girl, what's going on with your family. It none of that, and that's hard to do. That's hard. That's hard to not bring it to work, so to speak, depending on what's
Right.
going on. If you just got emotional issues, period, or if you getting into the game side of things, if you looking at it as, oh well, they just lost their head coach, it's gonna be an easy game. We gonna you
And that's what I think happened.
maybe you don't take it as seriously as you should. You and your boys sitting around each other, y'all listening in practice, and y'all listening in the team meeting. Y'all watching the video, but y'all like, yeah, I'll sit here and watch this, but yeah, we're gonna whoop them, man. I ain't worried about this. And I may not have been at the highest level, but I've been on teams where the big dogs of the team, that's the way they talked. They didn't take it seriously. And then when they played the bigger teams, like when West High played Colerain, when they played Xavier, and when they played Elder, um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, things got a little interesting. And then even teams, it was a couple of teams in there that wasn't quite them, but played. but played them trying to punch him in the mouth, and things got a little interesting. And you and that always taught me that you have to come out. It don't matter who it is. You come
Gotta come
out,
out
you
ready.
come out
You got
punching them in the mouth. That's basically what happened all weekend. Uh,
it was who came out punching them in the mouth. It was
yeah,
exactly how it was.
whoever was punching who in the mouth. I'm starting to become a fan of BYU because they ain't playing with
Yeah.
nobody, and
Yeah.
hopefully 2 losses in a row. Hopefully, something is chiming in on my Seminoles. I said it before. I'll say it again. I don't like their quarterback. I don't like the quarterback. Just watching him
He
and
I
and,
think
and how
I
he
think he
plays.
got
I,
I
I
think he got I think he let the fame of him winning them first couple of games get to his head too quick.
Yeah,
I really did.
and the fact that he had Florida State, and it's like, bro, no. Oh, and also what it is, pressure bust pipes, because he get the happy feet, question how much trust he has in his line, understandably, because the last 2 weeks, Virginia and Miami, they he had reason to have happy feet.
Yeah, he did.
But when the mental side of thing kicks in, when it takes away from your ability to focus,
Man.
your offensive coordinator should see that and should be able to come up with some stuff to help you out. Um,
Right. To slow it down
that
for you
that
in
that
order to make it work.
that score, the Miami score was worse than it was. They should have won the Virginia game. Sorry, the Miami score was not as bad as it should have been. How the defense made them play. The score should have been worse.
Miami sat there.
Miami what?
I've never seen Florida State look slow. Miami made Florida State look slow,
Made them look
and I
slow.
don't know what it made them look out of position. They made them look like Florida State from last year,
And I blame
and I wouldn't have thought that they could have regressed that fast.
I partially blame Michael Irvin too. You seen him over there on the sideline, had the boys had the boys hyped up. He was over there on the sidelines, boy. He had them hyped up. I was
I
cracking
am
up every
all
time
for
they showed him. Oh,
I'm all for alumni to come back, but Jesus, come on, man.
you know what? I swear, I I would love to have a problem with this if it wasn't so entertaining. It, you just see him on the sideline in the little t-shirt. Yeah,
I'm
he
like,
dapping everybody up. He hyping up all the players like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the you.
knowing good and well, one of them run into you right now. They're going the news. Breaking news: Michael Irvin was rushed to the hospital after being tackled by a whole bunch of football players during the Florida State Miami game. I'm like, what? Come on!
he
I get
he
it. I
he
get it.
feel
You
young
having
again.
fun,
Gotta be honest. I would love to be where he is on the sideline, doing something like this, maybe talking to the players on the sideline as they chilling on the side. Like I said, I want to talk to everybody. I don't want to just talk to the main people. I want to talk to everybody and get their
everybody.
perspective
Yeah,
and see where their head is. And because at the end of the day, wherever your head is what's gonna ultimately the mental game, the mental part of the game. This is why I don't have to have the game exciting because I want to see the whole chess match of the entire thing. I don't care how good your team is supposed to be, how bad your team is supposed to be. I want to see you in the trenches. I want to see the mental part of your game performing. When you show up and you have somebody that is not as good as you trying to punch you in the mouth like you actually aren't as good as they are, how are you going to react to that? Are you going to be able to handle that? Because that is the epitome of what upsets are all about. Because you sit up
yep.
there and you figure like, oh, they're going to wear down. Oh, don't worry, guys, we got them. They're going to wear down. Don't worry about this.
No,
This is just adrenaline. And then the next thing you know, 4 quarters and went by, the game's over, and you on national net. And
national
y'all,
TV walking off the
yeah, you
field
in
with
the
your head down, like what the heck?
and you in the press conference figure out how to explain it without hurting your team's feelings or pissing anybody off. But the fans is like, and the
Oh, I
fans
love these.
is calling out your coach, like we've been talking about. And I've been saying this to you since we first met, that people need to understand you are not just representing you. You are
Mhm.
representing the people, especially when it comes to if you're a regular human being, you're representing your parents. You're representing any family members you were around. If you were in a foster home, you're representing your foster parents and what they tried to instill in you. You're representing your teachers and what they tried to instill in you if they tried to instill anything in you based upon the person you were in front of them. You're representing so many people on your journey through life. On the field, I know people like to separate it, but there is a hint of realism in between what's happening on that field, even with all the mechanics and the puppeteering with the referee. Why did they make the call? How much of that had to do with the fans? How much that had to do with their bosses? And how much of that had to do with the players and the overall stress of trying to be a ref? And we've talked about that.
Yeah,
Um,
we talked about that
and
too.
and, and
It just becomes to a point to where you guys again, it ties up, it goes into like we were saying with the rankings and everything else. You know the expectations of you. Sometimes things happen, you just don't execute. There's some, but a lot, some of these losses was down to you either overlooked your opponent or you flat out wasn't as good as they as pundits thought you were.
right, right.
And that's what and that's a part of the thing that makes it to where that's why I kind of get on my soapbox when it comes to the rankings and stuff, because along with the rankings of us wanting to have something to debate about, it also puts pressure on these players sitting up there trying to earn up to that rank or earn up into that to where they feel like they might have to push or they might have to go further than what they possibly could because they don't want to disappoint and lose that stature of it. So it's I get it when it comes to these games. Right now, we're going into what, week 7?
Yeah.
Week 6. No,
No,
week
no,
7, week 7.
week 7. Yeah, yeah. Let
We
me.
going into week 7. We still a lot
Yep.
of these conferences they just had they first they first or they second conference game.
Uh huh.
Some of them might be in their third.
Yeah.
We still not gonna know what's going on because shoot, think about what the game of the week is this week. Oregon is Indiana going to Oregon. That's the game of the week right now. And it's like, okay, Oregon then moved up to number 2 in some of the rankings or number 3 in some of the rankings with it. Do I think Oregon is the number 2 or number 3 ranked team in the nation? No. And that's my team. I still see the holes that they have in there.
Uh huh.
That game against that game against Penn State was a lot closer than what it should have been because they had Penn State if they would have executed. Some of the lapses that they were having, I'm sitting up there punching at the screen like, what the fuck are you doing? But it's week 7. And I'm like, so you know that one's coming up with that one. Then
Mm.
you got some of the other games that's coming up. I'm
Mm.
pulling up. Oh, you said, what you see?
I okay. I got to make sure I'm home at 7:30 Saturday. Cause
Georgia,
I
Auburn,
nah. Ooh,
USC, Michigan.
yeah. Ooh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I definitely got to
yeah.
be home because I got to have multiple screens. Yes, yes. I got to be
See,
home because
you're
I got to
gonna
have.
have to you're gonna have to keep me up to date because I won't be able to watch none of them this weekend at
Oh,
all. If I
oh
watch them, it's
no.
going to be during the day on Monday to catch up because I'll be out of town all weekend.
Oh man.
This is about to be, and I'm mad because I'm looking at these scores. I'm looking at it right now. You got Alabama, Missouri, Ohio State, Illinois, Florida State, Pitt, LSU, and that egg that they dropped said Southern Cal, South Carolina. The Michigan USC game, Michigan better win that. If Michigan loses to USC, USC is not as good as their record shows. Then Auburn and
Wait.
Georgia. Georgia's got to fix Georgia. That's a trap game for Georgia. I have my faith in my Oregon Ducks against Indiana. I don't think Indiana is one of them teams. I think Indiana's doing the same thing that they did last year. And then when they play against somebody, they lay an egg.
Well,
I don't think Indiana is that strong.
understandably, they coach got them believing. You got to believe, like
Right. You got, but yeah,
Bo
but
Dallas.
you're still
You got to believe. You got to
you,
believe.
you still you're still a Hoosiers. You're a basketball school. Quit playing. Quit playing. You're never gonna change that
Yeah,
dynamic.
he trying to change that. It's like y'all gonna pay attention to us. And
Yeah.
now the attitude that he carries, that's the attitude that's causing a lot of these upsets this year. So as much as I hate to say it, that could be a trap game for Oregon. Oregon better come out, especially the way
Oh
they was
yeah.
looking last week. They
Yeah.
better come out and play their A game because and punch Indiana in the mouth early and stay on them
They need to
until it's
run.
like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They can do
They need
whatever they
to
want.
run the ball.
They
They
can do.
need to run the ball. When it all comes down to it, they need to run the ball. If they run the ball and control the line of scrimmage, they will be okay. And then pass the ball over the top. You do not have a running back group that is four running backs deep to where somebody that transferred to be your number one running back red shirts because he's not getting no carries. You cannot be that deep and then sit up there and say, you know what? We're going to go into a passing attack all of a sudden. No, you're getting 5 to 7 yards per rush. Hand the ball off.
Their guy
Railroad them.
is their guy is the Heisman potential Heisman candidate. They can't have him passing off the ball for runs. They gotta have him
If
passing the
he's
ball.
winning, if he's winning and he's a part of that running attack, why not?
Because
We've said this. If you sit there and you tell me that he's back there and he
it's
gets 195 passing and he's got and 2 touchdowns and he's got a touchdown rushing and they got 2 other running touchdowns rushing and they put up 35 to 40 points and they look efficient, you can't sit there and knock him for getting 2 tutties and 200 yards and they winning blowouts.
oh man, you opening up a can of worms that actually spills
Oh,
over
I know
into
I
the
am.
into the NFL later. But yes, I can, and you know why? You've been watching for years since everything became about the past, and you know full
And
on
it
well
but
that
but
that
it but it's been butchering. I get it.
yeah,
The pass the wide receivers is the sexy thing. They want to see that going on. They want to see that happening. But ball control wins games. You
better figure
cannot
out how to
sit there.
ball control and your quarterback, especially if he's a Heisman candidate, because he will fall in the candidacy if he is not throwing that rock. You
And
know
that's
it,
fine.
I know it.
But right, but the other side of that is that if you are in a game to where you're up and you're trying to milk the clock and you throw 4 straight incompletions and 28 seconds run off the clock and you leave time on the field for somebody else to come down the field, score and beat you in that game, your Heisman candidacy because you're not winning is going to drop just as fast as your stat line not contributed as well. You have to have that balance, and that's what's been killing everybody. It's not just in the pros. It's been
Uh-huh.
in high school. It's been in college. High
Mhm.
school, shoot. Think about what just happened this past weekend here. Moeller, who we know used to be a running team, decided they want to get pass happy. What happened when they went to Elder? Elder ball controlled their ass all the way to their first loss.
Mhm.
You can't do you ball control is winning right now. All these players, if you even look at the fantasy right now, your biggest stat earners right now isn't your wide receivers, it's your running backs.
Mhm.
So I don't
Wide
the
receivers
sexy
getting mad and
wide receivers getting mad. They throwing hissy fits. I'm not getting enough targets, but you winning. I'm not getting enough targets. Okay.
but and we're gonna talk about that too because that spills over into the NFL too. Oh man, God, just this is great.
It's just
All
yeah.
right. Let's see here. What games did I watch? I did not watch the Ohio State game. I did watch my Seminoles lose. No offense to Oklahoma, but I don't care that you beat Kent State. Um,
Nobody cares.
right.
Nobody
I
cares.
just Um, I did watch a piece of Texas A&M, Mississippi State.
I saw
Uh,
some of that.
I did I check out. I wanted to check out Texas Tech in Houston, but for some odd reason, my phone was acting up, so I had to switch over to everything. Everything. Okay, the Michigan Wisconsin game. Uh,
I
that
told you Fickle sucks.
that that game should have been closer than the final score.
Fickle sucks.
He might suck, but that game still should have been closer than the final score showed. Because the one thing I seem to notice was with a lot of these teams was that a lot of the times that it took a mistake by the offense for the game to get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
The Virginia Louisville game, that Louisville should have won that game.
Yeah, they
Louisville
should
should have
have.
won that game, just like Florida State should have won the week before. But I swear to God, Virginia's defense, it's like it's like when they smell the
Yes.
loss coming the past couple of weeks, they just kind of turn up.
They like, nah, it ain't gonna be because of us.
And yeah. So yeah, that Virginia Louisville game was great. There was the Michigan Wisconsin game felt like it should have been closer. It was just fortunate that the offense was just uh they were mistake prone with Miss Wisconsin. So and that's kind of unfortunate. Kudos to Alabama for righting the ship and making sure that Vanderbilt knew that they were not winning this year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because I
we
was about to sit there and lose it if they would have won that one.
yeah, we talked about the whole Texas situation as soon as they started hyping Archie Manning, I had already questioned how good they really were. I'm like, you're hyping a guy that he's played bits and pieces here and there, and you're trying to turn it into like a whole body of work for 2 years.
You
You're
cannot.
you're I get it. It's the Manning family. Respect it. I respect the premise, but that's about as far as I'm going with it.
Here's
So
my here's and I hit somebody with this today, and they didn't. They when I said it, they kind of looked at me and then they was like, "Okay, I get your point." What we're dealing with in the NFL and college football with Eli and Peyton, along with Arch and their lineage, and that's not even their son; that's their nephew.
right,
And what we've been dealing with Dion and Shadur and Shiloh, and that's their father. That's dealing that's they legitimately is in their bloodline, and the overhype that we've been getting off of both of those with that is what happens when you deal with. Let's switch it over to the NBA. We got one instance of that going on right now. You got Bron in there with Bronny. Did we think Bronny deserved to be in the NBA for real based off his talent? No. Let's take it a step further. Mike got two sons. Did we ever think, and one of them actually played college ball. Did we ever think that they was going to be good enough to be NBA players? Your last name does not make you a player.
Mike specifically technically did not want his kids to play because he knew what was going. He
No,
knew what everybody was going to do. He's like,
he
no,
knew what
go
was
do
going to
something
happen.
else. Like, no,
Right.
go do something else.
Even with his daughter, because his daughter
Yeah,
could play.
yeah.
But he said that, no, nah, I don't want you to do that. You
And
got
then
too much.
he
We
territorial as hell.
we got too much. There's too much heredity and emphasis on family lineage lines that they put in college football when it comes to these players that if they stats ain't showing that they're gonna be as good as their counterparts of their fathers and things like that, then let it be. Because we're old enough to where we're seeing people that we watch play in our teenage years and stuff. Their kids are now playing in the league, or their kids are coming up to play in the league. And you sit there, some of them are just as good. And then some of them you sit up there and be like, you got here because of your name.
Right.
And that's what's happening with Arch. Arch was Arch was the chosen one. He was the one that was doing all the 7-on-7 camps and everything else with it. But 7-on-7 is not live in the in the SEC. 7-on-7 is not live, is not going against the second string players when you then blew out the team and they putting you in there for garbage time. You can't bank that off of there. And if you listen to the people that sat there and said, hey, we understand it's Arch Manning. We understand this. But here are some quirks to his game that he has to work out with repetition and being out there. He's not ready. They don't want to hear that because they see in the fact of Arch Manning can be the number one draft pick. Let's make
Even
this the
his
headline.
granddad said because everybody had him coming
And
out
going to New
this
Orleans possibly.
yeah coming
Yeah.
out and going into the league, and the grandfather was like the grandfather kind of to me kind of he was sending a message, but he worded it in a way where you didn't realize that possibly you didn't realize what he was saying. And I don't think he was saying that he felt his grandson should play more than 1 year. I think
He
he was
knew.
telling him to. He was
Right. You
subliminally
ain't coming
telling
out,
him
boy.
to. He
But
was
Dad,
like,
I want to play the crows. You want to get killed? You want to get killed? No, no. Keep your butt back. Because that's
so
what it's going into. I don't Arch needs another year to develop. Arch seriously needs another year to develop. And I think that next year, after seeing it and with Sarkeesian for a full season and then a full off-season program as being the number one and everything, it'll pop up to where he'll be better. But to lump him in there and think that he was going to come out and just put up his dad, I mean his uncle's numbers coming straight out of college. Nah, he's not. He's never been that talent for that. And and I don't understand why. Well, I understand why, but I don't think that it was fair that they heaped that type of pressure onto him during that time frame. But
it it
it
it
is what
it,
it is.
it had people talking. And
Yeah,
that's part of their job. Their part of their job is whatever they're talking about, which is why I I I always talk about while not completely taking their butt out of the fire. I like yeah, I get what you're saying about the media, and I'm not going to disagree completely, but you got to remember that their job is to talk about what you're talking about and to come with
hmm
the energy that they see you talking about so that you feed into them. So they see you talking about
yeah,
Archie Manning, like, oh, the Mannings. Oh, they talking about Archie. What do you see? Let's get some info and then let's run with it. And so and then they
well, I,
can't they gonna get judged whatever they say. So whether they using a personal opinion or they use their uh the the opinion of what they see on the internet, they gonna get judged either way. That's why I said that I'm
yeah,
not gonna be one of those people. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. Is if you hear it come out of my mouth, uh, uh I'm not worried about, oh well, would you say I wouldn't end up in the situation I could possibly end up in the situation that Stephen ended up in, but with LeBron, but LeBron would definitely have to know like I'm still gonna keep my same energy. What I said about you, I'm still gonna keep my
yeah.
energy. What I said about your son, what I said about your son had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with me taking aim at you. What I say about you is about you. What I said about your son is about your son
About
and
your
how he
son.
playing. Now, if you want to lump them together and you want to make this a big thing, okay. But just know you're doing this because that's what you want to do. Um. So yeah, Just like I got to get around to trying to get on my Instagram because I told you that I saw Melvin Gillard like about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and
Mm.
he told me to get in contact with him. He'll do an interview with me. Uh Now I've had some feelings, and if it comes up, I'm gonna tell him straight up what I thought of him and why. I it's I always thought that he was a good MMA fighter, but I
Hmm.
felt like attitude wise, you know how I feel about head cases. I don't like them. I don't care if they in MMA. I don't care if they what sport they in. I can respect what you do, but to me, his bravado or his swag held him back from being a better have being a better fighter and winning a lot of fights that he ended up losing. Like if he
Yeah.
had he was a great striker. Like if you're going against him, whether you got a good chin or not, I don't recommend just trying to stand and bang with him because he got hands.
Yeah.
And but that was the thing. He always fought people that even if they had hands, they had um they had jujitsu, they had wrestling, something to get him on the ground and get him on his back. And to me, that was his Achilles heel, and that's why I'd always get annoyed. Like, bro, you got all this swag. I need you to take some of that swag and put it into, expanding your game so that like I said, if you if you got mouth and you doing like Conor McGregor, you doing like Mayweather, okay, I gotta respect it. But if you doing like Zab Judah, uh-uh.
That part.
It's like
That part.
like no,
Definitely. Definitely with that. That
no,
part.
no, 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 no. I can't, I can't, I ain't feeling that at all. So,
All
all
right.
right,
It's seven.
TCU, TCU
What about
in that Colorado game.
them?
I, like I said, I'm starting to the more Colorado games that I fixed myself to watch, I feel like I'm starting to figure this out. So for some odd reason, they start out hot, but they
That's all the
can't
energy.
finish out. The game is looking pretty much over by halftime.
Yeah.
Dion and all these veteran Dion and all the veteran coaches and all the former players and himself. What's up? Why is it that your teams and they did this last year? Unless they got punched in the mouth and got blew out from the jump, they start out hot, making you look like they gonna do something, and then the game is over by halftime or third quarter.
I don't, I'm gonna say something that I never said before. I don't know when it comes to them anymore. I don't. You have a built-in advantage because you get to train in altitude to where you should have the stamina to go through that other people don't have when they come up there, unless they're in similar terrain. And yet still, you start off hot, like you said. You start off you come off bumping like the intro to that concert. Y'all all yeah, we rowdy, and then by midway through the first quarter, it's we playing a football game. Oh snap, we playing a football game. All right, let's go. So who am I supposed to throw the ball to?
We was expecting them to mentally be out of the game already because of the magnitude of was
So
it is what is their mindset like? Are y'all figuring that people gonna be afraid of Dion? Newsflash, they've been paying attention to him since the Pac-12. Coaches are making sure that ain't nobody afraid of Dion and Colorado right now.
and nobody is, and that's where, and now, and I hate to say it, but what I was thinking, it might not even be a buyout. he might end up leaving because of his health. And because he can't to see him during that game out there on the field with one shoe off, and for him to mention it during the press conference, saying like, I think I'm dealing with blood clots again, the blah 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 blah. When it comes to that, part of me is like and the Gemini in me, the good side of me is like, okay, he being honest and telling them like his health is affecting him while he's on the field. We knew he had a health issue with the cancer scare, to where he basically sat there jokingly saying, "I wear the pins. I gotta go to the bathroom on the field. I got a porta potty on the sideline." I get that, but at the cynical side of me is like, were you already building in an escape clause for you to say, as the season gets bad and it starts looking worse and worse, to sit there and pop up and just say, you know what, with my health issues and everything else, I'm just going to go ahead and effectively resign and name such and such my successor while I go tend to my health issues until the NFL comes a calling, because it's a possibility. It really is.
Yeah.
But and that way you're not attached to this. You're attached to the ship that's sinking, but you're not attached to it when it goes under.
And naturally, nobody's gonna give him because of the way he mentors. He's always gonna have supporters.
Exactly.
Everybody else is what you couldn't get done with the talent that you had. Um, uh, um, you couldn't get it done because of your lack of ability in picking the right players. Dion is, well, dude, look at how he mentors the players. Look at what he does in the community. That's all fine and dandy. But
It's
when
all the stuff that's not football related.
when that football game starts, and you want me to respect him as a football coach like everybody else, call a spade a spade.
Yep.
It's not looking. This is not what I would respectfully feel like would be how what happened in the SWAC is more what I feel like is Dion. What
Right.
happened in the Pac-12, that don't feel like Dion. What's been happening in the Pac-12,
Yep.
I don't feel like that's up to Deion Sanders standards. So
Yep.
so and that's just so that we can be clear on what I mean when so that I can try to attempt to get people to see that this is not a hate situation.
No,
Um,
and people get that all the time. I don't. People have to understand something. Hating on somebody is when you don't have no basis to be critical of them except for envy.
Pulling stuff
I'm
out of left
envious something that they
field.
do. Right, or pulling stuff out of left field. You're trying to find reasons to throw out something against that person.
and
That's
you
hate.
and you only bringing up the negatives about them. You don't never say nothing positive about them.
Not
I
positive or
could see
anything else,
that.
but
I could see that as being hate, and that's why I try to bring up everything and make sure, just like the whole thing with LeBron, whether I'm talking to you or whether I'm talking to anybody else, I bring up the good. I tell you what I get into the Jordan debates, LeBron debates, thankfully, because of how things have gone with him at this point, I'm having less of those conversations. I'm
right,
having less of those
right, you're
conversations
right.
because even the actual fans of LeBron are just like, so,
See, that's what makes it bad.
right,
because
right.
it's like you have to. I can sit there and our viewers have heard me spew about Scott Satterfield. You've heard me spew about Shador. You've heard me spew about Zach Taylor. I'm not hating them. I'm going off of the facts that have been given and their track record of what's been out there for plain sight for years in here. That's what I built my opinion for on them for. I don't know none of these people personally. They might be the salt of the earth whatsoever. But when it comes down to looking at the numbers and looking at the effectiveness in their fields when they're playing, Scott Satterfield, right now, I hate to say it, but on my FM list, Scott Satterfield then moved up. He didn't pass Zach Taylor. He's actually getting better in my good graces than Zach Taylor is. Because you can't, because at a certain point, you have to realize one of the things of being a person first, a media person second, is you got to take accountability.
Yeah.
And you can't keep on pushing that accountability. You can't sit there and, in Zach Taylor's case, sit up there and say, it falls on me and I feel comfortable in our quarterback. And then 24 hours later, sit up there and say, nothing's off the table on who will be our starting quarterback next week against Green Bay. Which one is it?
No, 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 no. Now, I have had a chance to take a look at Jake. Jake don't even look as good as he did to me in the 5 game sample. So this whole
Yes.
the whatever's going on with his mindset, which don't get me wrong, every time he says hike, he already has linemen coming at him, or he
Oh yeah,
has
I'm not.
he
But
either the offensive linemen themselves that's supposed to be blocking for him is coming at him with the D lineman behind him, or he's got D lineman coming at him. So on the one hand, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like, well, man, he just gotta focus and figure. No, 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 no,
no,
no. I
no,
played on that team. Granted, I was on the JV team, but I know what it's like to go. I'm a running back. They say height. I already got a dude right here, and I'm walking
yeah.
over to the sidelines, and and the coaches is yelling at me about what I should have done. Dude, I said height, and I already got a dude here. Okay.
It was. Let's go ahead and transition because here's the thing. Here's the thing. There was two. There was a sequence of plays, and it was one play from that Bengals Detroit game that surmised the entire season whatsoever.
Okay.
The first one was the series of plays where they had got the punt and they was back inside their 20. And I could have swore it was in a 5 play span. Pass should have been picked, incomplete pass overthrown, sack for a safety, but it got called back because it was a defensive holding penalty. Should have been intercepted through the interception. In a 5 play span. And all of them was, what was he doing? Why would you throw it? Why would you throw that pass?
Pressing.
Why would you throw that pass?
He's
You're pressing.
he's
He's
pressing.
pressing.
Last week, I asked you last week. I said, why was he trying so hard to throw deep to Higgins and Chase when you got when he started playing better in his defense? This is how much I'm paying attention because he did the same thing
He
in
got
this
Yoshibach involved.
he got Yosivash involved, and all of a sudden it started looking great because they already know where you're going. You got to
Going.
be unpredictable. If they don't know the reason why Buffalo is looking so good is two of the things, and we gonna talk about Mr. Diggs, because his energy wasn't fooling me. And when I watched the shows today and I heard what he had to say, and I still felt that energy of what he was coming with, I'm gonna commend him, and yet I'm gonna blast him a little bit. So because again, we gonna be fair.
Yeah.
We gonna be fair, but back to the Bengals game. Um, he started spreading the ball around. He started looking better.
Yeah.
Not only because he was spreading the ball around, but because he wasn't holding on to it so long, trying to get it to Higgins and Chase. Mm.
But there was one pass. There was the second one there was one pass to where I knew for a fact then he was completely pressing. It was a 10-yard post route to I want to say it was to Chase.
Uh-huh.
No, it might have been to T. And he threw it to where T would have been when T broke instead of leading T to the middle of the field and letting him run underneath in order to catch the ball. If he would have threw the ball directly ahead of T and let him run underneath and catch it, it would have been a touchdown because T had broke away from his defender.
Mm-hmm.
But because of where he threw the ball, T had to stop and try to turn around and jump up and catch it. And the defender was right there, and the ball went right through his hands above his head from there. And
Right.
even the broadcast was like, "Why would you throw it there? You need to throw that in front of him and let him
That's
run and get it."
easy. That's easy for, and this is where people get in trouble. You have a right to
I want
ask.
to see where you're going with this, and I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna
You
push
have a
back on.
right to ask that question,
Mhm.
but we got to remember: one, this is Jake Brown. Two,
Right?
he clearly does not do well in situations where he don't have the time he needs, which we already know from watching the game. Even the passes he
Uh-huh.
got off, he had defenders way too close to him for the amount for what he can handle.
Now,
So
which
he
what
was
now,
doing he was doing the anticipatory throw, and he probably pressed it a little bit for the simple
he
fact
pressed it,
of he was worried about how much time he had left to get rid of the ball. So maybe he threw it earlier that's what makes him throw it earlier than he should
and
have.
that's what made me mad because when you look at it in all 22,
Yeah.
he had the time. All he had to do was take one step to the left and then throw the ball. He went into the traffic and
Uh-huh.
chucked it that way for it. He did not because and you watch his feet, and I kept on replaying it because I was like, "Am I missing something? Did somebody get pushed into him to where he threw it there from it?" His read was wrong because he went straight back, and when he went back, instead of taking just a step back like this and then going right down the middle of the field, he stepped into the back of the lineman and then tried to throw, and he made his own self off balance on there. When I
Right.
saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, why?"
Now, if he know that the way he's throwing the ball, he might have an issue. That's another reason why they say step up into the throw. He
Right.
gonna now. Unfortunately, he needed to, like you said, he needed to take a step back. But if he knew in his head that if he took a step back that the pass wasn't gonna make it, that's why he stepped up. That way he made sure that it was gonna get there, and then naturally he stepped in the wrong direction, and then that helped to throw off the trajectory. You got a lot going on,
You got a lot going on.
you got a lot going on, and if you don't don't have the poise, if you don't have poise, that already makes a hard job harder. That's why
Yep.
I try to be fair when I'm understanding, because I everything you said I fully understood it, but I also try to put myself into the mind of the guy, because you know that I've tried to be more fair, and I brought it up a couple of quite a few times. You're supposed to have 4 seconds, but because of the talent, the talent
The
and
lack of it.
and the injuries, the injuries, the mindset. There's a whole bunch of stuff that falls into this. The injuries, the mindset of the player personally. Because think about it. If you got a person that's been sitting on the sideline, they have no expectancy to be in. What are the chances that the mindset that they got going on that is that I'm gonna always be ready? You know from dealing with people in a natural work setting, and I know people are never gonna like me making this comparison, but I'm trying to get you to understand how much I understand this. Just like when we're at work on a job, and we have a person. that they come in, they do the job, but they mindset, they doing more going through the motion than actually putting the care into doing everything the way it's supposed to be done. Guess what? That's essentially what is happening down there on that field. Those people are just as human as we are, and you're watching it in real
Yeah.
time, and it's a chess match, and there are people that are going to do great. The people that do great don't only do great for their physical talent, they do great because of their mindset. That's why Jaden Daniels is killing everybody with, oh my God. It is what is happening here? How is he so poised? How does he seem so ready? Who else was it? Uh
Shoot,
um
Drake May last night. Drake May showed me something last night. He
yeah,
legitimately showed me something last night
yeah.
because because I saw two things last night. One, Josh McDaniels should never be a head coach in the NFL ever again. Just stay a LC
Tried to tell you.
because
Yeah.
right, because every time he when they said they went through Tarico and Cosworth went through how he said when he first met May, he said we're gonna strip it down to where it's kindergarten level and I'm gonna build you right back up. That's
Mhm.
not the same Drake May that was out there last season running around trying to figure out what to do with it. That Drake May was poised. That Drake May was in again. Stop with the whiteouts because the whiteouts ain't working. They haven't been working, but he's in a whiteout condition there, and he sat there to watch him methodically drive them down for that go ahead field goal. With that, I had to applaud him because you went into the Lions Den, and y'all used to own Baltimore. I mean, not Baltimore. Y'all used to own Buffalo, and now y'all haven't. For him to reassert that to where it's Buffalo is not guaranteed to win that East, that made it to where I was like, okay, all right, kid, you did your thing, and that leads into your conversation with Diggs because I already had my feeling about Diggs. I didn't. I will say this: am I a full fan of Stephon Diggs? No. Do I think he's a underrated good wide receiver? Yeah. He's coming off an injury, so I understood that part of it. But they even again, I love NBC's coverage because NBC doesn't sugarcoat anything. They sat there and went through the whole thing to where they said he started out in Buffalo. That didn't end well. He left from Buffalo. He went to who did he go after that? No, he started out in Minnesota. Minnesota didn't end well. He went to Buffalo. Didn't end well. He went to Houston for that season, got hurt. Then he came there. But they said ever
But
since he
but
got to Houston, they said it's been a different type of mind state and a different type of he's a good teammate,
mm-mm,
which is
mm-mm,
something you didn't really hear
mm-mm,
with it.
mm-mm,
And
mm-mm.
which to me,
That's why they cut him.
what in Houston?
Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah, that's why I'm
everybody was confused. They was like, dude, he got hurt. Why would y'all cut him? And then it started to come out. It started to trickle out a little bit that there was some stuff. I can't remember what they said, but it, it, they didn't talk about it a bunch, but the
no,
questions were raised, and then it was kind of like basically his attitude did it was along the lines of his attitude didn't fit, and that's why that's why he wasn't in Houston, because it was like him and Nico. That was a
right.
problem.
That
That
was
was
the
a problem
problem.
before everybody got hurt. And
Right.
and before everybody got hurt, before the offensive line got hurt, um, that was a full on problem. Nico on one side, Diggs on the other. Good luck.
Right.
You
But it
had
didn't work
Mixon with
out.
the run game. Good luck. But the injuries started hitting the offensive line, and then the next thing you know, Nico got hurt, and then Diggs got hurt, and then that was the full
That
implosion.
was it.
That was the full implosion of that. So
But now it's like when you sit there and you think about it, it's when you sit there and think about it though, that game, he played his ass off last night. I cannot knock that. He played his ass off against them for it. I
oh,
just wasn't a fan of
they couldn't cover anything. The
no,
defenses
no,
that they were calling, they were giving him way too much respect. I feel like they didn't have like you know how some teams have like the number one, they number one and they number two corners.
uh,
I wasn't getting that
there's no
vibe.
number one and number
And
two back there for them.
yeah. So yeah. I think that the Bills defense as a core is good, but if you start breaking it down like who is actually good, then that's when the truth comes out about the situation.
Yeah.
That's why all the hype about them going to the Super Bowl, I'm looking like, yeah, okay. And then the game started, even in that win, that comeback win against Baltimore week
Right.
one. No.
No,
They were supposed to had lost that game, and they were supposed to have lost that game, and the
yeah.
implosion of the Ravens helped them come back and win that game. Um, and we're gonna talk about them too.
Oh, man.
But since we're talking about Mr. Diggs, let's talk about Mr. Diggs. Mr. Diggs needs to understand Buffalo did not cut him because of his lack of talent. Buffalo did not cut him because he was old. Buffalo cut him because his energy, whether you understand it fully and have respect for it or not, was affecting their star quarterback.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
energy, his words that he said on the microphone about how he decided to start acting when he got to the Patriots. Had he had it with Buffalo, he never would have left Buffalo.
Yeah.
Had he had it in Houston, nobody would have had to ask the question, why Houston cut him and they just signed him this year? I mean, he got
Mhm.
hurt. Why you faulting him? Because he got hurt. It wasn't that they was faulting him because he got hurt. It was stuff that they was noticing about him and how it was
Yep.
affecting the team. And the smart thing that they did was, you know what? That's not gonna work here. Not every team will do that. Me and you have talked about it, and you've heard me say plainly, I don't care how good you are. If
You're
if
not better,
if
not
if
above the
if
talent.
if your ego ain't outweighing your talent, if the energy and the things that you do aren't coming out as a positive and flowing through the team to help us win, bro, you gotta go.
Mhm.
And that, whether people like it or not, I'm getting so sick of people trashing Bill Belichick and how he ran the Patriots. It dominated for 20 years and it shouldn't have dominated for one. Shut up. I get the way it fell off afterwards. You could say whatever. Yeah, every good thing comes to an end, as the old saying goes, right? And we knew that the end was coming. The question was, when was it gonna come? How was it gonna come? We didn't know because every time we thought that year was the year, Belichick proved us wrong, whether he made it to a Super Bowl or not. Plain and simple. I appreciate his words because his words sounded mature, but his demeanor,
That's it.
his
Your words, you can do this all you want to, but your how you carried yourself on there. Now, I will say him going around and dapping up the fans on the sideline, both New England and Buffalo, for it after the game. I get that, but there was a moment to where he was standing over there and he was wolfing at the crowd after the game was over with, like Oregon did at Penn State after they won the game. And I'm like, why?
especially
What? What?
seeing that you said you loved and you missed it. And he was in the moment, but
Right.
it's that energy that you were normally carrying, and he wasn't fooling me, especially by his demeanor. No, this was personal for you. You were there to prove a point. and
Yeah.
and it and the way it
Yeah.
worked out and the way it worked out, once Drake May saw that they couldn't really cover you, I think that gave him
You and
energy,
priority one.
that gave him confidence, that gave him energy
Yeah.
and confidence. Just throw it out there He on a heater. He feeling it. Throw him the ball, and he not gonna let you down. And it wasn't a bad strategy. I'm happy for Drake May, even though I didn't pick him. And obviously, based upon how the season started, they lost to the Raiders. Who else did they lose to? God, I
They've
just
lost
saw.
to the Raiders. Go back into the stats here. They've lost to the Raiders. Come on. My
They,
system is updating. Uh
they lost to the Raiders week 1, and then they lost to the Steelers. Which the
okay, so
Steelers, the Raiders, the Dolphins gave them a game. They won it, but the Dolphins gave them a game. So based upon that, the only team that they really blew out was ironically the team that beat the brakes off Atlanta, which is still kind of confusing. But
yeah,
but I digress. But bottom line is this: I like his words, but his energy is telling. It's
it
very
is very
telling.
telling.
So, and even in the press conference, 99.95 of the stuff that he said was sounded leadership like. But you saw his
Yeah.
demeanor, and then at the end of it, if you notice, one of the reporters asked him like was it personal? And the look he gave as he said, "Oh yeah, it was
Yeah, it was
personal."
personal. It was personal.
The look
It's
he
like,
gave him, there it is. You could put on the show, you can have a feeling and a mindset, and you may even believe it. I don't know him personally. He might actually believe 100% everything he said, even though the way it looked to me, based upon people that I've dealt with all my life in terms of dealing with people and how they act and how they come off, it told me that there was extra to it. Because like I said, it sounded
yeah,
good.
it was
Just
extra.
just like with Shador, the night he got drafted. 99.995 of the stuff that he said sounded great, sounded humble, except for when he got to the, but I think we all know what happened here. Wait, what? You were with me, you had me, and then you said that. And I guarantee you, if I see it, the people that run the business, the people that the owners, they see that
Yeah,
and they go, and they not gonna say, "Oh, that's just you." They gonna say, "Oh, that's your daddy." So it doesn't come off right, and they gonna make you suffer for it. That's why when me and you were having that conversation about him and whether he should or shouldn't be starting, don't get it twisted. I personally do not believe that if they don't want to start him, that it's necessarily a given. I never had,
right.
even though I thought originally that Haslam was going to have him on the field week 1. I honestly did. But like I said, I feel like some things came around and then he was like, you know what? I'm going to try to get away from this because people still trying to pin me to it. So I'm going to try to get away from it some more, which made me scratch my head like, yeah, why are you doing that? Because ain't nobody even talked about you. Not
Right.
enough for you to come out in a press conference that they end up putting on ESPN. He's a talent, and not just because he's with my Patriots. I do hope that this does fully turn around and he is having a positive effect. And I hope that he is able to work together with everybody on that team. Like I said, everything else he said, I'm with it. I just need to know that you believe it, and I need to see that the team believes it. Even if you lose, I need you in the game, and I don't need you losing to the Raiders. That was a game that they should have won.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that they should have beat the brakes off the Raiders. I'm just saying that they should have won. If they would have won by 3 points, okay. If they would have won by 7 points, okay. Hell, if they won by 1 point, okay. But they should have won.
Right. But
So
it's just like I don't I think what yesterday showed a lot of the teams in here in the league is ain't nothing for sure.
And if you remember, I believe even you asked me if I thought I knew who was going to be in the Super Bowl. And I told you, I don't know.
Yep. And
I
I'm in
don't
the same
know
boat. I
based
don't know.
upon how everybody is playing. I don't know.
Because
Like,
everybody's flaws yesterday showed up. And shoot, that's a perfect segue to go through the rest of the recap from yesterday because
oh, for sure.
everybody's flaws came out and bit them in the ass. Like legitimately bit them in the ass.
Even the winning
And the
teams
first
showed them.
it was just like part of that yesterday was like, what the heck? The San Francisco Rams game. I'm watching that. When I got in on Thursday, I'm sitting up here, I'm watching this. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't, Mc, there's a problem that I have with very smart coaches.
Now, part of the problem with why they lost that game, running
Was because
backs,
Kyron Williams couldn't hold on to the ball.
Kyron Williams. Now, Blake Corum's situation, the way the ball was thrown, the two times that he had an issue with it, I understood why he had an issue with it. Because the two times that he had the ball come at him, he also had somebody flying at him.
Adam, yeah,
So
yeah.
and it's like you go to catch the ball, but you got this blue coming in your peripheral vision. So you already done lost concentration on actually catching the ball. He has to work on that. Now that one fumble by Kyron Williams, and me and you have talked about it. Why is it you running into a crowd? I don't care if you're Derrick Henry. I don't care if you're Williams.
High and tight, high and
No,
tight.
no, you're supposed to have that ball completely covered.
He
You're supposed to have that ball
he went.
completely covered. Why are
He
you carrying it like this?
no, that's what I'm saying. He had it high and tight, but he had it so loose up
And it,
here to
it was
where as
on
soon as
his
he went to the
side.
line,
It wasn't,
right, it wasn't here. It was over here.
yeah, it
And as
was.
soon as he ran past it, he went and punched the ball. As soon as it happened, I said, "Oh."
And
And
thank
then
God for the camera angles.
man, thank God for him because they. And then even when they gave him the ball, when they got the ball back after they kicked the field goal to tie to take the lead, when he got the ball back, they gave him the ball. He did what he had to do in order to get him in field goal range. That's cool. What was that 4th and 1? What was that 4th and 1?
That was
At this
trying
point,
to show that was them trying that was him trying to show that he still believed in his guy. Now,
here's the problem with that. Here's my problem with that. This is not only a conference game. This is a division game. So tiebreakers with that comes into play with that.
mhm.
I could care less about confidence. You got Puka Nakua, Tutu Atwell, and your own quarterback that could have just did a quarterback sneak. And you gave it to a running back and you ran to a left side. You ran into a right side, and they were off balance. They were lined up in order to stack that. As soon as he went through that line, he was stuffed. And I'm like, it's 4th and 1. Why would you run toward the unbalance?
But I don't. The thing that confused me was it was clear. It was clear that he wasn't going to be able to make it through that hole where he ran,
No.
and he should have gone. And okay, because I got so many, because you brought up Tutu Atwell, which made my brain go nuts, because I have a separate question, but I'm gonna focus, and we gonna stay here for a minute. Yeah, and a lot of the running backs do that. That's why I commend the ones that have the vision. Oh, I might be running here, but there's a hole here. I might be running here, but I need to go. Maybe I need to pull this out and turn on the speed and go around. I feel like a lot of times on the 4th and 1s where the running back does not succeed is because the play calls to run toward a certain hole, and that hole could clearly be blocked. I'm sitting here at home and I see that it's blocked,
And
and
I'm
you
still
try
gonna
to
go for
run
that.
through it
I'm gonna
anyway.
run to that.
And you try to run through it anyway.
I
It's
sat
like,
there and I'm like, why didn't you just? I was like, if you knew he could have easily put his foot in the ground, put it once he took that run, instead of going straight to the right, put that right foot in that ground, cut back to the left, and just jumped and would have got the first down and kept the drive going.
yeah.
You ran right into their arms. They just like, come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Thank you. Game over. And then the other thing, y'all know it wasn't a first down. Don't even try to fake it. They would sit up there like, he got it. He got it. I'm like, man, his body is behind the line. What the hell?
And the reason why they do it is exactly why I be pissing and moaning about what's being done to these refs. The fans want what they want. So they gonna
Yeah.
believe whatever. And there has to be a level of accountability. There has to be a level of yeah, this happened. Yeah, I did it. That's why I get irritated. Dude, they got cameras everywhere. Quit playing this like you some cop trying to make it like we don't see what we see. You committed the pass interference. You committed the illegal touching beyond 5 yards. God, that brings up another question. But again, we're gonna focus. But yeah, and then I found myself once again. I knew I lost. I knew I lost this game, but I was good with it. And if I'm sorry, if you earn it, I'm with it. If you earn it the way you played, because there was not supposed to be a way with backups. I knew because of Salah, I knew San Francisco's defense was going to be, no matter what happens with the offense, the defense is not going to be the problem. I don't care who's out there
Oh,
because Salah's out there and he knows what he's doing. He's proved that with the Jets, and he's proven how solid he was. Which, oh my God,
yeah.
I know you got to get home, but I got so many things concerning
Oh, I
the,
know.
the NFL that I want to talk about. Like, for instance, you brought up Tutu
Give me
Atwell.
another.
Tutu
Yep.
Atwell. I brought up Tolbert. I brought up Turpin.
Yep.
Browning would probably be better if he wasn't just looking for Chase and Higgins. He was also looking for Gasecki and Yossi Bosch
Yep.
because they're still on the team and they are effective. Um,
Yeah.
but if you notice, the teams that are really flourishing, they're spreading the ball around.
Man. Yes. Yes.
No matter what their
Yeah.
record is, the teams that are doing the best, not only are they doing complementary football when it comes to offense defense, but they're doing complementary football. And that leads us into one of the undefeateds that lost, the other undefeated that lost. They do complementary football, passing and running. Now, we know I didn't watch that game, but the one thing that I found interesting,
Why are you passing? Why are you passing? You were in the
you
league,
know why.
and
You
it and it
know why.
and it infuriated me. Because now here's the question. Here's the thing, and fucking I don't care. Here's my problem: when you have a whole group of people all eating at the same time, and everybody's eating good, everybody shut the fuck up.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
That's how it should be. But it
Everybody
doesn't
wasn't
work
eating
that way.
good though.
Right. Because
Everybody ain't
and
getting
here's the
good.
problem. And you want to know what was the funniest narrative that came out of that game? Why isn't Saquon getting off the way that he normally does? What would have been a prime time for Saquon to start getting off? What got them that far where they had that winning streak to where they had not lost this calendar year at all? What was it? When they got up, they ran the ball down your throat. Not acquiescing to a crybaby diva,
Uh,
which
Word is
I'm gonna
two
get
of
to
them
that.
actually.
Well, one of them don't cry as much, but he
Right.
does cry. But here's my thing with that. All you gotta do is run the ball and control the ball. Control the ball. That's it. No, you wanted to get the Divas the balls, so you're going 3-and-out. You're
It
giving Denver multiple chances to come back in that game.
it was
And
one.
then the irony of the entire thing was you saw the Hail Mary, right? The Hail
I,
Mary at the
I
end of the
I I
game.
did I didn't see it live, but I
So
did.
did you see what happened in the Hail Mary? If you paid attention to it, do you see what happened?
I'm gonna have to look it
They
up
should have
because
caught. They should no. You don't even gotta look it up. They should have caught the Hail Mary. You want to know how the Hail Mary got dropped? Because your two divas was fighting for the damn ball, and both of them had their hands on it, and neither one came down with it. When you look at the replay of that, they landed on top of each other in the end zone. Both of them touched the damn ball, and neither one of them caught it because they knocked the ball out of each other's hands. They were legitimately the whole damn Finding Nemo thing. Mine. That was them too in the end zone.
yeah, they showed it on First Things First, so that's why I said I did see it. I saw a quick snippet of it. Your non-favorite guy, Nick Wright, was the one that brought it up. It was like the Hail Mary that they fought over, and then they showed the clip, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of green for them not to have won that game last night.
And then here's the thing. By the time they was fighting over the ball and tipped the ball, you see Hurts running past to where if they would have tipped it in the air, Hurts could have caught it.
And he probably saw what was happening. That's probably why he started
Yes.
running for it. He saw what was about to
Full
happen.
sprint. I was so frustrated when I saw it. I'm like, how were both of y'all fighting for the ball? Neither one of y'all, no, and both of y'all both said mine, and y'all gave up the ball. Because I don't believe nobody from Denver touched the ball.
No, when they showed the replay, I saw nothing but green reaching for the ball.
I see tears of green.
Right.
And rose too. I cannot even. And I'm watching it now. I'm sitting there, and when I seen it, I just was like, "You've got to be shitting me! You cannot be this cannot be how y'all lose your first game." Then I thought about it, I was like, "It's the NFL. This is how it's been all damn season. This is how y'all lose your first game." And it just you cannot.
So there's an article for the win. I'm not sure who that is, but it says NFL fans loved that Jalen Hurts followed his Hail Mary for possible tip ball.
Yes. Yes. And I can't fault him at all. But it legitimately came down to you chose, and again, this goes to the coach. This goes to the coach and the OC. I'm sorry. I got Saquon Barkley back there.
But he was just so whenever I hear a coach, this is why when you go in on Zach.
I'm going on Zach because he's inept. But me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why when you go in on Zach, you notice I don't really combat you on it, because most of the coaches, a lot of the coaches that aren't winning or are not winning consistently, whether they're supposed to be on top or not, most of the coaches that talk like Zach, that's your result. You end up losing more than you winning. And you got to be able to know how to let them be themselves, and yet set the standard and let them know you can be yourself, but here's what's not going to be tolerable. Speaking of, that is the perfect segue into why Arizona lost that game yesterday.
We just said high and tight, right? We were talking about high and tight. How about make sure you cross the line before you drop the ball? Again. I don't. Again, this is the reason why I am not a coach. I'm not a coach. I'm not a GM. I'm not an owner. Reason why, if I had the money, I wouldn't want to do it, was because as soon as that game was over and we took that L, I would have been on the sideline. Make sure you go clean out your locker. But make sure you go clean out your locker. You're gone. Cannot tolerate that. Cannot condone that at all. I understand it's in the moment, but this is where the showmanship. It's an epidemic. This is where the showmanship overshadows the common sense. You make sure the referee done blew the whistle. You gotta go. You got this in the air before you do anything to drop the ball.
You ain't even got to do that. You know what you got to do?
Take that ball to the sideline.
Make sure you're in the end zone. If you run through the back of the end zone, if you run through the back of the end zone, then drop it. They can't say it wasn't a touchdown.
You remember what Jonathan Taylor did that last season? What did I sat there and said he needed to do? You don't let that football go until you sit down on that sideline and you make one of the refs and come down and do it. What did he do that next game? He did not let that football go until he sat down on the sideline. Every single football player in America, from Pee-wee all the way up, I swear, all of y'all need to make sure you do not drop that football until you get through the end zone. Take the football home. Sleep on it. Something. Don't drop that football before the goal line.
And the part that annoyed me. I drank some Stephen A. Kool-Aid. No, yeah, because well, who was it? Yeah, Stephen A. and the people on First Things First. Because his foot touched the white line, but what you don't see from the left side, the ball starts coming
The
off
ball
his
was
hand.
behind him.
The ball starts coming off his hand before his foot touched the white line. I was with
It
him.
doesn't matter about his foot though. It's the
But
ball.
no, I understand where they were going with it. Because if his foot, if the ball doesn't start coming out of his hand until after his foot touches the white line, uh, uh, at the time that his foot touched the white line, the ball was across the plane. But the problem was the ball was already out of his hand by the time they showed it from the left side. If you watch it from the right side, it looked like they shouldn't have overturned it. But if you show it from the left side, which while we've been sitting up
You
here
saw the ball
talking,
out of his hand.
yeah,
You
the
saw
ball
good
was
gap to the ball in
already
his
out.
hand.
From the right side angle, you can't really tell, but from the left, you could fully tell. So it was like I was with him, and then like I said, I'm sitting up here with you, and the play just keeps replaying on part of the screen, and I'm watching it from the left side. I'm like, oh no, they were right. They did right to say that he fumbled it out of the back of the
And
end
the
zone
player
because
was
he
right
let it
there.
go before he
He let
crossed
it
the
go at the
line.
1/2 line. He let it go at the 1/2 line, and the
Yeah,
ball
and
rolled right
his
through the end
foot
zone, kicked the
and
ball out the back of the end zone.
and his foot was in the air as the ball started coming out of his hand, and they're doing it in college, they're doing it in the pros, and it's like nobody's getting it, and it's like somebody somebody has to be allowed.
I wish, I wish anybody I know that play football in anything, I wish you do something like that. You do something like that, and I'm in the vicinity of the game, I will take getting arrested. I will bail myself out, but I'm gonna go out on the field and I'm gonna snatch your ass off the field. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? It is that, it is that, it's that maddening. And then on top of that,
Yeah,
you lost the game.
right.
And you sat there.
You can say that they had some chances after, and they probably did.
They
But
probably
what you
did, but they
did
wouldn't even have to
was
have that
you
issue.
gave the Titans hope. They were
You
like
you gave the Titans hope. We don't have faith in the did I hold up. Was that no, we didn't have faith in the Titans.
no.
None of us had faith in the Titans.
Hell,
Nobody wants to have faith in the Titans.
their leader didn't have faith in them. So I'm gonna have a hard time. And he was just keeping it real based
Right.
upon
He said
that.
we asked. He said we asked. And what happened? It took an asshole play that gave you your first victory. You oh
And I'm sorry, you don't blame Kyler Murray for that. You can't
no,
completely blame him for that loss when that happened
no,
during the game.
right.
You-
It's just like I just could not. That's one of them games to where you sit there and I was telling my family. I was telling my family over the weekend. No, last weekend. For homecoming, my senior year, we had a homecoming game,
uh-huh,
and we were playing against Hamilton Bay. We were
uh-huh.
favored to win, but Baden had a real big, stocky, like 240-pound muscle neck fullback. We drive, we drive at the end of the fourth quarter, score, send it to overtime. And it's homecoming. So JV gets to dress for homecoming. They don't normally dress with varsity for any other games. So we got JV players that don't never be on the sidelines for a Friday night game on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
The coach goes up and down the sideline and says, "This is not sudden death." He's yelling it. "This is not sudden death. Do not run on the field if we score. It is not sudden death." We all going up and down the field as captains, as seniors, everything else. Don't run out on that field. Don't run out on that field. We get down there. We score a touchdown on the first drive of overtime. As soon as we score the touchdown, what do these idiots do? Run on the field. We are literally going and grabbing players and tossing them onto the sideline. Referee seeing about 4 or 5 of them making about 10 yards off of that sideline, 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. We got a soccer player that was a senior. That was one of my guys. He's a head coach playing basketball now. He was our kicker. First year kicking. He said now, instead of it being a 20-yard try, he's got a 35-yard field goal for the extra point. Of course, he misses it. Bain gets the ball. They feed the moose once. They feed the moose twice. They feed the moose 3 times. The third time, he literally ran over our safety and went right into the end zone. They kicker comes out, kicks the extra point. Baden wins our homecoming game. We all on the sidelines like, my coach just walks off the field. Everybody get your ass in the locker room. Mm-hmm. Now, you've been over here at Norwood Stadium. Right around the corner from here, right around the corner from the school. It's they Norwood Stadium. The old stadium, your locker rooms was underneath the stands. So we could hear everybody complaining. Underneath the stands. We all hot because you just ruined our homecoming. It's seniors. This is our last time. And y'all couldn't pay attention. We get on the bus. Our coach is so hot. He's walking along the side of the buses. He's not even on the bus with the seniors and the captains in the front. He's just walking alongside of it. Every chance we came to a stop sign, we could hear him get on the other bus and start berating them. I told you one thing, one freaking thing. We get back to the school. He sits there, he says, seniors and captains, stay on the bus. Everybody else go inside. He comes on the bus and he sits there, he says, I'm sorry that they did that. What happened? What happened?
They're showing
what happened?
They're showing excerpts from yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Brown got to go.
Brown who?
AJ. Brown got to go.
He knocked the ball out of his hand.
Dante Smith would have caught that ball.
I told you. Told you. He cost them the game. I told you they was mine.
AJ, but Devontae Smith was in front of him. He had the better angle.
Yes. He reached over him and tried to take the ball.
Yeah, he reached around. He was literally hugging him. It was like he was hugging him.
He fell on top of him.
Yeah. No. No. Yeah. No. See, this is why I'm not a
man.
And that makes Jalen's press conference and how calm he was. And it also explained the words that he used.
AJ getting traded before the deadline. He's gone.
AJ is talented, but AJ got to go. And if Devontae,
I believe it wholeheartedly.
And if actually, because I haven't heard that much from Devontae, I can. The reason why I can understand where they're coming from, and that's what I was gonna say. Them not getting the ball at all, that's a problem.
Right.
It's especially if when the passes come, Dallas Goedert ain't even getting it. And it's okay, that's a different conversation. So I'm not gonna say that I don't understand at all where they coming from, because I do. There is something wrong with the passing game, and it does need to be addressed.
About that. But here's the thing about that, though. Devontae Smith yesterday, 10 targets, 8 catches, 114 yards, no touchdowns. AJ Brown, 8 targets, 5 catches, 43 yards, no touchdowns. So Devontae was putting in the work. He was getting the catches. But because the ball went up in the air and he went, mine, you don't need this touchdown. I need it. Looking like two women fighting over a bouquet at a wedding.
To the point that when his arms wrapped around him, Javon, the ball touched his hands initially. Had Brown's arms and hands not gone up in Devontae's mask, he probably still had a chance to grip the ball.
To catch the ball. Yes. That's why I just walked away. I was like, I can't do it. I couldn't do it.
And
I couldn't do it. It hurt.
Nobody called him out. They did great. Nobody called him out.
No, because they're gonna say they're gonna do everything. They're gonna do all the PR stuff. We win as a team, we lose as a team. This was a team loss. We left it all out on the field. There was things that we could have did better that we need to execute. We're gonna go back and look at the tape in order to make sure where we can execute better, and that's what's gonna make it to where we're gonna be able to succeed going forward. This is a loss. Everybody takes their losses. We don't like it. We haven't lost all year, but we're going to come back fighting next week in order to make it right so we can just chalk this up and say anything happened. But in the back of most of the players' minds, in the back of their head, they sitting up there like, that motherfucker should have just left the ball alone. And was there any tweets from AJ after the game yesterday?
I don't know. That's something I need to get better at getting on my Twitter and sending tweets and doing reels.
It wasn't nothing. But to wrap up what I was saying, the coach got off the field, the coach got on the bus, said, I'm sorry, they cost you the game. Whatever happens when y'all get off this bus, I have no recollection of it. I'll see you guys at 8 o'clock in the morning for film study. He let us go in that locker room and lock the door behind us.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't condone violence.
I don't, but you cost us homecoming because you didn't want to listen. Oh, that JV game that next morning, we were all there. We were all there just to sit there like, y'all better blow them out, because the coach was sitting there. We told the coach, if they lose this game, can we play them? Heads up, pads. They sit up there, they on the sidelines like this, like and some of them had to get pulled up because we got injuries. Some of them had to get pulled up throughout that season. That season after that went up and down for that whole rest of that season. Because when we got to that game, we was 2-1. But that one, I was hot. And that game ended up costing us the playoffs that year. Because in the harboring ratings that they gave it, because Baden beat us, Baden got into the playoffs over us. We finished ninth in the region, and the top 8 went. So we beat LaSalle that year. That's why we was, man, one game. That game will always, that right there is what you always will sit there and say as a coach or anything else. You hold your players accountable. They know the rules. They know what they should do. They should know the basics. The basic is you hold the football until you hear a whistle. You don't drop the football for nothing. And for this to have happened, this is the 3rd time this season alone? And we only in week 5?
Just in the NFL.
Just remember, in the NFL.
It's been it happened a bunch. It's been happening a bunch in college too. And nobody's getting it. And as soon as you bring it up and you try to hold them accountable, oh man, you just gotta. They made a mistake. You gotta let them be themselves. And
a mistake is something that happens once. It is fixed. It's a mannerism or it's an attitude that is fixable. A pattern is when it keeps happening and no one is being held accountable. This is a pattern. And I want to see who's going to be the first person to hold somebody accountable. Because right now, like I said, dude need to be gone. He was the 3rd string running back as is.
And he wasn't a rookie.
He wasn't a rookie, so you know better. And that was your longest run of your career.
And you ruined it.
And you ruined it.
The run isn't going to be what everybody remembered. It's going to be how that run cost your team the game.
I just oh my God. Next subject. That's something that make my head hurt. All right, so I don't want to say I told you so.
Oh Lord.
But I told you so.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta eat this one.
Baltimore is a shit show. Baltimore is a complete and utter shit show. I don't know how can you go and fall as fast as you could have possibly fallen. And it's not just because it might, you can count it as the injuries, but even with all of their defense together, this is the most points that a Baltimore team has given up in 5 weeks in their history. Their defense looked like they did not want to be out there at all. With some of the plays that Nick Chubb ran for 61 yards. We've been saying that Chubb was on the back end of it. He wasn't going to be how Nick Chubb was. That was Nick Chubb at 65%, and he ran for 61 yards. You don't see, they gave up 167 yards rushing total. Their total offense, rushing and passing, was 207.
Well,
this wasn't just a loss. This was, you cannot, and the crazy part about it is, me and you both said Baltimore was a Super Bowl contender this year. Baltimore's a contender for the #1 draft pick now.
There's a bunch of teams. There's a bunch of teams that at the end of the day, it's Super Bowl or bust. Bills are one of them.
Yep.
Baltimore's one of them.
Yep.
We've been seeing the Chiefs face too much, to an extent, because they keep talking about, for the talent that he does clearly have, where you may not agree with me on it, but at some point you keep screaming he's elite. So Herbert and the Chargers,
but they didn't crash back to reality.
Yeah, and hey, injuries on the line will do that quick. And
then Omari and Hampton, then they lost both their running backs. Now Hampton's going on IR.
Right.
So
it was said today that they believe that Herbert is cursed because he can't seem to, his teams can't never seem to have star players that don't have injury issues or that don't end up hurt. He's always having to play
with a less than full deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's true, and that's been the history of San Diego, really. So
right.
So what do you because remember that's what made them make the brain dead mistake of getting rid of Drew Brees, because the line wasn't holding up. He ended up getting hurt. He wasn't playing that great, and they gave him to New Orleans.
And it's just like I can't. So then right now we are at the quarter point of the season, realistically.
Okay.
Do we think that Baltimore can salvage this?
No.
Okay. So if Baltimore can't salvage this, who becomes the scapegoat?
Harbaugh.
So this becomes a great question. Has Harbaugh's messaging finally reached its end with that team?
No. It's actually because of it.
Interesting. With that defense first mentality?
Whenever we talk, and we talk about the pundits, and we talk about the coaches, and we talk about what they say, one of the biggest reasons why I don't completely put everything on, I will put things with the Bengals more on the coach than I will with the front office. The reason why, I go by what the coaches say after a loss. I go by what the coaches say after a player makes a massive mistake, especially if a player, the star player or star players, make massive mistakes, whether they come along with the game and they happen during the game or not. If they end up being the reason why you consistently keep losing in the big spots, or just mostly, their message didn't wear out. Their message is what held them back. That's why I am such a proponent and enemy to you got to just let them be themselves. You got to let them play. Got to let the players be the players. No, you don't.
No, not really. Nope.
Not the way it sounds. There's some give and take, and then based upon how it equates to the field will depend on how long of a leash you let them have. Because at the end of the day, They're representing you and your coaching. Right
Right.
now, this is why when me and you have talked and me and you have had a chance to talk about sports for years, this is why I haven't been that high on Lamar, because at the end of the day, I haven't been high on Lamar. I haven't been high on Dak.
Yeah.
I don't care. And that's not to say that they're not talented dudes, but the way it ends up panning out, you have to have a level of understanding of what it takes to win. We can say whatever we want about Travis Kelce now. He's doing what the players back in the day used to do. Eventually you fall off.
Yeah. You can't be at the top
But
of your game for forever.
but now, whatever the reasoning is, okay, whatever the reasoning is, that's the reason. It is what it is. He's older. He's got this. He's got that. He's older. All those
Mhm.
reasons. Bottom line, he fell off. But guess what? He already got the hardware. We know he going.
Right.
We know he going in the Hall of Fame. You can't do everything he's done and not go in Hall of Fame.
Right.
So, but Lamar has had the hype. Speaking of hype, Lamar has had the hype. Oh, well, he's the most athletic quarterback there is in the league. He's number one, is he?
No,
Right.
I keep on.
He's not. He
The
he
only
is.
reason why, the only reason why Lamar, the only reason why any of them has been put up there as the number one is because of the stats they put up during the regular season. If they took the regular season and the postseason into play with it, Mahomes would be a multi-year, more multi-year MVP versus Allen versus and even versus Jackson.
Yeah, but
So it can't. I get it, but it's like I can't even at this point now. Okay, he's out. Jackson's not coming back through that door. If he comes back through that door, we're not for sure it's going to be the same running Jackson that it is. You got a humongous what the hell happened to Derrick Henry? Because here I am at this point, and again, reason why I'm not an owner, reason why I'm not a GM. If I'm not getting my throughput from my star, highly paid running back to where you're not saying he's hurt, you're not saying that anything is wrong with him, but you obviously do not have the confidence in him in order to give him more than 6 carries. And this has not been just one game. This has been for a few games for it. Cut him. Let him go. Because right now, what you're looking like is that you don't trust the chick that you dating or whatever else, but you don't want to let her go. So you give her little bits of attention just so she knows that you're there. But then the rest of the time, she's just there. She's just taking up space.
his confidence is not there anyway. It shows.
Okay. But even with that being said, all it takes with a running back is one or two good holes you break through. And we saw in the first couple of games of the season, he take it to a hole, 60, 70-yard run, you right back into that mode. But if he's not in that headspace in order to do it, then why are you even putting him out there to give him the 6 carries? Are you giving him the 6 carries to see what headspaces he is right now? Because I can tell you that in that game, he had 6 carries for what was it, 33 yards?
Mm-hmm.
No, he had 15 carries for 33 yards.
Mm-hmm.
15 carries. So if he's only getting 2 yards a carry, and this is Derrick Henry, you cannot tell me that Derrick Henry hit the running back wall in week 2 and we only in week 5.
It's a combination of things. It's a combination of things. And it sucks because, as we've known since last year, if he fumbles, they stop running plays to him.
But I get that.
So that's part of it. That's
right. And I
that's
get that
part of the problem. They're not helping him.
Right. But in this case, then you always had in the back of your mind as your backup is we can start giving him the ball, but we got Lamar that can sit up there and take off and do the same thing that he's doing. You have Cooper Rush back there. What else are you gonna do? You can't run, and you're not even giving it to your running back, and you're not opening up no holes for your running back.
And they're not even. I get, even if I get going away from Derrick Henry, why you have Justice Hill?
Justice Hill had ran. Justice Hill had 1 carry for 3 yards yesterday.
Right.
Keaton Mitchell had 3 carries for 8 yards. And then Justice had 1 catch for 9 yards. And Keaton had 1 catch for 5 yards. Derrick Henry had no catches. So you did not use your running game at all.
Right.
And you were getting your proverbial ass handed to you by Houston. This is going to be, by the time this is done, either Harbaugh's going to be gone, that defensive coordinator's definitely going to be gone after the season. And if he makes it through the end of the season, and shit, you might, if they got that #1 draft pick, Lamar might be on the trading block.
No,
You're gonna have to do something.
no.
You're gonna have to do something.
Derrick Henry. You will see Derrick Henry disappear. You will see Andrews disappear. You will not see Lamar go anywhere unless you want to see Baltimore up in smoke.
At this point now,
Baltimore, the Baltimore fans will riot.
They will. I get that, but Baltimore also is a team that wants to win. And to see a Texans player sit up there and do the Ray Lewis dance after scoring a touchdown in your own arena, that's embarrassing. That's very embarrassing. So I don't. They might be where we already. Here's the worst part of everything that comes down to it. We already know Cleveland is a shit show. We know the Bengals is a clusterfuck. But we never would have thought that Baltimore would be a dumpster fire that just got set on fire, and every week it keeps on pouring more and more gasoline on it, the worse and worse the defense plays. And there's nothing that, if you can't, this is you know what? I will say this and you're going to laugh, but it makes sense to me. Their defense right now reminds me of the Bengals last year, where it won't matter how many points that they get out there and score. They defense can't stop nobody in order to win. And I never, ever would have ever thought I would have said that about a Baltimore Ravens defense. That is how bad they are. You have to, and then on top of that, they don't have the weapons that the Bengals had. It's like it's crazy. And it's crazy.
And the plays that are being called, are they being called like we talked about with the Dallas situation? Because there were so many injuries, you calling plays that are meant for the starters, even though you got the backups in.
And you might, but at that point, this is where you can't, and I think that this is what the Bengals fell into the trap of, as well as everybody else. You cannot call the same plays for your backup quarterback that you called your starting quarterback, unless they are the mirror image of each other. You can't call them. So you can't call the play. This is why, if you look at the Bengals in Baltimore, the Bengals have no rushing game to rely on at all. So you have to go by where you throw into your weapons. Baltimore, no matter what you're saying with the confidence factor, you still have Derrick freaking Henry. Give him the ball to get to try to at least loosen up the defense for Cooper Rush. Because you got to think about it. When Cooper Rush came in there for Dallas last year, Cooper Rush was competent. Why? Because they acquiesced the offense to how Cooper throws. They didn't make Cooper play the game like it was Dak.
To how, and not only did they do that, and even though we didn't know it, that little bit of running that they did with Dowdle, he ended up being an 1,000-yard rusher.
Right. And he showed his ass in the Carolina game.
Right.
He showed his complete pokey in that game.
and and basically, so basically, what had happened, whether it be running backs, whether it be quarterbacks, if you put certain running backs in a better line situation, they will show you that they can play, and that's the thing that I've been screaming. I've been screaming it, and it's been
Yeah, you have.
showing, and the beauty of it is I now have a place where I can keep beating a dead horse
Yeah, because
and
because every quarterback that's gone out has been because their line has not been protecting them
the
at all.
Lions don't protect. They are unable. Granted, because of the talent of the defensive players, it's not just because the guys suck, depending on what team we're talking about, whether we're talking about their starters or their backups. And I really shouldn't say suck. I should say they're not
I say so.
on the level that they need to be.
I
So
say so.
yeah, that's a nicer way to say it because I mean
Oh, we don't have to be
I
PG about it.
of of course we do. Gotta get don't you
We
gotta
got Disney this. Never mind.
you
We can't say we got Disney it.
right. Hey,
Just saying. Just
right.
saying.
Hey, they got their guy back on TV.
I mean, yeah,
They
yeah.
got their guy back on TV, and from what my son told me, apparently they let him go in his first night back.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No.
I watched it. That was probably the greatest monologue I've ever seen on TV. When you sit there and say, you know how old T-ball where they used to have the plastic tee and you can sit there with the plastic baseball bat and hit the plastic ball.
Yeah.
Oh no, it knew. They set this bad boy up on a fountain with a big old beach ball and gave him a wooden paddle and just said, swing for the fences. It
That's
was beautiful.
that's what my
It was
son
beautiful.
told me. But like I told him, they probably told him he could do what he want, but they also them being Disney, because remember, we're probably never going to see a Pirates of the Caribbean again. So because Disney already knows they come out with a female if they come out with a female Jack Sparrow, oh, they gonna wish that they had kind of like the Ghostbusters movie that had all the females in it.
Yep.
The public let it be known how they felt about that. But anyway, setting bottom line, you got to set the standard. You have to set the standard. Don't be worried about, oh, well, okay, maybe that's the wrong choice of words, and it makes it sound in a way that'll make people debate. Set the standard because you can allow your players to be the players as long as they know what the rules are. You can do
Yeah.
it. Jimmy Johnson did it. Bill Parcells,
Yeah.
his, as we came to find out, was a little looser, but they still had an overall standard, and they won. Well, until he got to Dallas under Jerry Jones and the player friendly owner. So because even when he was with the Pats and the Jets are the Jets, and he was proof that they were the Jets because last I checked, out of all the spots where he went, I think the Jets was where he did did the least. He didn't do that great as he did everywhere else. With the
Right.
Patriots, he ended up in the Super Bowl. They lost, but he got them there. So um, but and that just goes to what is the standard. Andy Reid, even though he only made it to one Super Bowl with Philly, he was winning with Philly.
Really. Yeah. They went to four straight NFC championships.
Yeah, you can set a standard. Yes, you should care about the feelings, but not to the extent of what the standard is.
It's they gotta do something with it. It's just I just never thought in my wildest imagination I would sit there. Somebody that we all were kind of in consensus would be a Super Bowl contender right now is now contender for the number one. draft pick.
Problem is that they've been saying it, and they've been saying it. Part of me, I feel like is karma. We're not gonna go into it. You already know what I think it's karma about, and I love it. But at the same time,
Yeah,
it's sad that all this hype behind this dude and
it's about to be empty.
nobody's willing to call out the fact. Nobody except for me is willing to call out the fact that he's probably getting ready to be a Warren Moon.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, yeah. Can't sit there and deny that one. Can't deny that one at all.
We can't say Michael Vick, and the reason why I say that is because what Lamar is doing and what Warren Moon was doing, Mike wasn't doing that. He was looking, he had the sizzle with how he played, but it didn't because of the players that he had around him and the fact that he wasn't fully disciplined into it. Yeah, no, if I'm gonna compare Lamar to anybody when it comes to not getting the Super Bowl, it's not gonna be Vic. It's gonna be Warren Moon because the way Warren Moon played with everybody that they had, you want to talk with which I had the misfortune of having to see them play because if they wasn't coming in and doing damage to the Lions, they was ripping apart the Bengals.
Huh.
They had some monsters. They had some monsters on their team, and they all bought in. And Warren Moon looked great. You have to say that if there's any, you can name some teams that they were so good. It's like teams that deserve the Super Bowl and why.
Houston, run and shoot off.
There's no way you can't say the teams that Warren Moon had didn't deserve to be in the Super Bowl.
Man, with Ernest Givens, with Ernest Givens,
Haywood, Jeffries, um,
Haywood Jeffries, that Alonzo was it Highsmith was the running back?
yeah,
Yeah, that was Tecmo Bowl run and shoot with them. You would sit there
Super
and just
Tecmo
go up
Bowl,
and
yeah.
down the field with them. Yep. You can't never knock that. They used to
Haywood and
have
Jeffries.
it was a Hill that was on that
Yeah,
team too.
Drew Hill. Ironically,
Yep.
Drew Hill.
Yep. Because he used to be the speedster. I used to put him back there as be my kickoff and punt return. He could run them back.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
See, that's
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
shit. Ain't even paying attention to the time. Jesus Christ. Okay, real quick before we go into our picks for week 6. So they released the grades from Pro Football Focus for
Uh-huh.
the Bengals offensive line. Their run blocking. Mims got a 63.8%, Rivers 60.2, Brown Jr. 55.5, Karras 54.4, Fairchild 37.1.
Mm-hmm.
Pass
So
blocking. Pass blocking. Mims 70.8. Rivers 45.1. Karras 40.3. Fairchild 38.3. Orlando Brown Jr. 29.4. Everybody on their defense got a F except for Mims as a 69.1. He almost got a C. Rivers was a 56.1. Brown Jr. was a 43.1. Karras a 40.3. Fairchild was a 38.7. What makes this bad is Karras is the center, Fairchild is the guard, Rivers is the guard. So your interior front line
like
was in the bottom third the entire game. And you wonder why our franchise cannot stand upright. Now, Fairchild, I will give a pass. He is a rookie, but he earned the starting spot, which means what the hell did you see in him to give him the starting spot over a veteran that was in there? Oh, that's right. You went and got Dalton, and he came in there. We got Dalton Reisner, and he's played just as much of a sieve as anybody else, too. Then what is the number one thing we always hear from all the tackles that we bring in as a free agent? Hey, nobody's going to touch my quarterback, and you are the worst pass blocking.
and that's why I've always told you I love it when the sound bites hit because the first thing I want to do, I need to see the next game that these people are in because I need to see how it's gonna play out. And it always plays out in that way. And they go, oh well, they just got there. Oh well,
No more excuses.
they need time to jail. Oh,
No
well,
more excuses.
they just came back from injury. Oh,
You
but
just gave Karras a contract extension, and he's fourth out of 5, and he's your center.
and he did used to be good, but I'm guessing from all the injuries, some stuff fell off
No,
his.
it's Bingledom. Bingledom makes them all. Come on, think about it. Orlando Brown used to protect Mahomes.
Yeah,
Now he can't protect the Pinto.
that's why he's not in KC no more.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. And I said that last year. Why would you not protect? Why would you not pay his primary protector to come back? You saw something that they saw, that we see the value in stuff that or what it was. They we have not evolved into seeing what it could be and letting it be that for it, getting ahead of it. We rather say, oh, you was good 5 years ago. Come on, you can be a Bengal.
and that's where the whole they're cheap falls in. That's where they don't get a pass from me for that, because I understand that. But it's also that thing of, well, everybody deserves a second chance, and those guys that sit up there and they go to another team, and then all of a sudden they turn into gold. More than likely, that don't happen when they come to the Bengals. So,
No.
especially if they're alignment. So I warned you about that confidence, just like you warned me about the Ravens. I warned you about the confidence of KC. He did not catch that ball. That ball hit the ground. Nope. Ball hit the ground. They're gonna
What
overturn
score?
it. Right now it's 0-0. But Thornton, it looked
Okay.
like Thornton caught the ball, but on the replay they didn't. On the replay they showed he didn't. So if they do, oh, are they not gonna overturn it? Oh,
Is it a Kansas City catch?
it's a Kansas City catch.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna overturn that. And getting into our picks for next week,
Right.
we already know that game. Huh. All right, first game of the week, Thursday, Philadelphia and the Giants.
I'm gonna go, even though they just lost to Denver. I'm gonna say Philly, but
Okay.
man, is that
Yeah,
totally wow?
that's gonna be it. It's a short week, so they can't dwell on it. So that actually might be a good thing. Shit. Okay, next, Denver versus the Jets.
Denver.
Yeah. Cleveland versus Pittsburgh.
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna go with the Steelers, but if they can't get pressure on Dylan Gabriel, the defense, obviously Cleveland's defense is gonna make it where somehow they're gonna pull that game out. God, that game annoys me. Oh, games that annoy me. This is game number one. Let's keep going.
I'm saying Cleveland.
Okay.
Just because I think that defense is going to, Rodgers is not, is Rodgers, and Miles Garrett likes Rodgers. He likes to give Rodgers bear hugs.
Well, he ain't with the Jets this year, so it's not as easy. It's not as easy to
News.
hmm,
All right. Chargers and Miami.
hmm, hmm. God, who made the schedule? All right. Guess I'll go with Miami. I'm
Me and you
not.
both going with Miami.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
the Chargers is known to being a running offense. They don't have no running backs.
they don't have no running backs. Their offensive line is crap, and their
Yeah.
offensive line is like completely dwindled down.
I,
So, wow.
that's gonna be an interesting one. Oh shoot. All right, New England versus New Orleans.
I'm God, I'm going with my Pats. They better win.
Yeah, I'm going with New England too. They can't mess this up.
They better not. But as we've seen all season, the teams can mess it up. The question is will they? Now,
Okay. The next one.
yeah.
Rams versus Baltimore.
Baltimore. I mean, not Baltimore, the Rams.
The reason why I made that face, Baltimore gives up 35 points or more, somebody's getting fired. Somebody's getting
And and
fired.
and 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 it's totally, the sad part is it's with Stafford. It's totally doable. You can't get
It's
pressure.
doable in the first half.
It and speaking of whether it be the Patriots or whether it be the Rams, the one main thing that the running backs better be practicing. They better stay after practice and be practicing, whether it be with each other or whether it be with the quarterback.
They
Getting
better be
the
doing something.
ball. Blake Corum needs to practice getting the ball while somebody is running at him. I don't care if they have to go out and buy the other team's jersey and have somebody put it on and have him practice somebody in the opposite color running at him, but he still got to catch the ball. If you don't get no yardage, catch that ball.
They gotta do something because
and
it's
and
not.
and 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 Blake Corum, along with every other with whether it be wide receiver or running backs, catch the ball before you run. I see so many catches. I don't care if the team won. I don't care if the team lost. A lot of them incompletions that fall on the quarterback is because somebody tried to run before they caught the ball because they knew the defense was coming.
Yeah.
So they was trying to figure out where they could go, and they didn't even have the ball yet.
See, that's about to be ugly.
Yeah.
But they better hold on to that ball because Baltimore gonna be pissed. But shit, that they might lose this one. Oh, here's another good one: Arizona against Indianapolis.
Colts.
Maybe they'll hold on to the ball. Seattle versus Jacksonville.
Yeah, that
Ooh,
that that ironically, yeah, that's both teams in the past couple.
yeah,
Wow. Oh man. God.
perfect pairing. The
Oh
football gods
Jesus.
work in mysterious ways.
Wow. Jacksonville versus who? My bad.
Jacksonville versus Seattle.
Mm-mm. Damn, that's honestly gonna be a good game. Ooh. What time is that game?
I think that's a 1 o'clock kick.
Damn.
That might. Let me double check.
Uh,
Double check the stats for it. Come on, refresh. Oh, week 6. Yes, that's a 1 o'clock kick. Okay, for Jacksonville, Seattle.
Jacksonville, Seattle. God. Oof. Oof. I'm gonna go Seattle and they better not let me down this week.
I'm going Seattle too. Smith and Jigba and Walker now been running around rampant. So Dallas, Carolina. I thought they played already. Let's not have.
Um, I'm I'm gonna go Cowboys, but because of the way they did the Falcons, I'm scared of that game.
That's gonna be a good one. All right, dumpster fire. Tennessee versus Vegas.
Wow. Wow. Hmm. Jesus. That is that's the epitome of suck. Um,
Yeah, that's the only 405 kick this weekend too. I think everybody else is 425. Yep.
yeah.
Well, she was only 3 games in the late window this week. Oh God, okay. That makes my drive home even better. I ain't gonna be having to worry about it. I can just listen to the Bengals get trashed.
Wow. What is this with the double Monday night games?
Don't know,
Um,
but it's a market employee. If it's something big going on that weekend, they try to make it to where it's 2 things on the Monday night for ABC and NBC. I mean ABC and ESPN. They start doing that, and it's kind of messed up the works for it because especially when you get into the bye weeks.
right, right, which most teams are basically in the middle of. It's like this week, the Vikings and the Texans had to buy. They're both 1-4. Raiders are playing at home. Let's see if the Titans have figured it out. I'll go with the Titans. Titans this week.
I
See.
went with the Raiders, only with my running back, Mr. Genty.
And Yeah, well, let's see. Uh, Packers, Bengals. I think we,
Packers Bengals is Packers.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not trusting anything until I see something different. I'm not trusting anything. San Francisco, Tampa Bay.
Mm. Hmm. God, that is going to be such an awesome game.
Man, because I think Tampa Bay didn't even come back east. I think they stayed out west.
Wow. You know what? I'm go go with my Bucks.
Whew.
That solid defense is scaring me though.
I'm going San Francisco, even though it hurts my heart and my mental. I got Mac Jones has just been Mac Jones has just been that is the
and
place where quarterbacks go to resurrect their careers.
they're using Mason.
Yes,
I'm still trying to figure out why Minnesota let him go.
because they're goofy.
Yeah, I just no offense to Aaron Jones, but nah, Mason was it. So yeah.
Uh. All right. Detroit versus Kansas City.
Hmm. Huh? Ah. Oof. Chiefs at home.
Sunday night.
Lions gonna have to prove me wrong. Going Chiefs.
I'm going Lions.
Ah,
Buffalo at Atlanta Monday night.
hmm. Well,
Buffalo.
I'm yeah, I'm gonna go Buffalo, but they better make sure that they come out punching them in the mouth.
Boy, they better. And then Chicago versus Washington.
Going Commanders. If they're not able to penetrate that line and put pressure on Caleb, though, that'll be another one of those. He's Kyler Murray 2.0 until he proves me wrong.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm going with Washington. So the only heads up we got this week are Cleveland and Pittsburgh, where I took Cleveland, you took Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
Uh, Tennessee and Vegas. You took Tennessee, I took Vegas. San Francisco and Tampa Bay. I took San Francisco. You took Tampa Bay. And Detroit and Kansas City. I took Detroit. You took Kansas City.
All right.
So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2. We only got 3 heads ups. 4 heads ups. We got four
Yeah.
heads ups. Huh, that should be interesting.
Mhm. So how
Oh, oh my God.
how we looking?
Darn it. You have to make me really sit there and calculate this again.
Oh,
All right. So wait a minute. Week 4.
well here. Wait until wait.
I'll have everything tabulated and I'll put it up in the group.
Okay.
Because that way I'll be able to see. Because I got all of the weeks. I've been keeping track of week 6, 5, and 4. I haven't tabulated them into the counts for it yet. So
Okay.
I'll do that tonight and get that into the group for that. Oh, and then to finish off, did you hear what's happening tomorrow?
Huh.
There is a second decision noon on pretty much probably every sports channel known to man. I think it's finally happening.
What's that?
I think it's happening. I think he's finally going away.
Ooh.
LeBron. I think he's getting ready to announce his retirement. This is a retirement season. Tomorrow at noon. I'm so sad that it didn't happen sooner. So my Lakers could thrive. Because he's finally going to be gone. Oh my God. I told you. I told you. Everything pointed to this man taking the money and bowing out. He took the option when they told him, we're not building around you. We're going to build around Luka. So you handcuffed him by by opting in to your player option.
Oh,
What? Uh-oh.
I keep telling everybody that dude Karloftis, man, quit just talking about Jerry Jones, about Chris Jones. Talk about Karloftis. Oh my God.
Did he just kill a quarterback or something?
No, so they were on the 1 yard line, and when they hiked the ball, Trevor tried to put the ball ahead of him, and Karloftis
Uh-huh.
knocked it through his hands. So now they're debating whether it was a touchdown or whether it was a fumble.
Oh my God. Oh, I see the Chiefs up 7-0.
Yep, and you can see it didn't break the line. You can see that it didn't break the line.
Oh my God.
Wow. It did not break the plane, and Booker recovered it. Now,
So
are
they about
they?
to have the ball at the half-yard line?
Uh, well, no, because when they ended up recovering it, they were like on like the 3 or the 4.
Oh wow. Huh.
So,
Neat.
so yeah, this game is about to get interesting, and all it took was one dude coming back, the line getting better and gelling, and giving Mahomes his usual time. And now
So
with Worthy coming back, they was able to really spread out some of the defense so that they couldn't really key in. I told you, just like you told me about the Ravens, I warned you about the Chiefs. This season is about to get really interesting.
oh
And
my
that's
God.
what was up.
No, I'm just thinking because I'm just thinking darn it, if I gotta deal with the Chiefs all season and listen to LeBron's swan song season.
And remember, you only got one more week, and Rice will be back.
Oh God, help me.
So he'll have
Oh,
Worthy. Hollywood is starting to catch the ball. He has Gray and Kelsey, and then the line is doing better. So they don't really rely as long as they can get yardage. They got Pacheco and Hunt. As long as they get about 3 to 4 yards every time they had them run the ball, they'll work with that because that opens everything up. And you know how the defensive dudes do. They gonna give Patrick a hole. They can't help themselves. They have to try so hard to get to him that they run around him and they leave him open space. And you know he just eats that alive if he can't get the ball downfield. He can kill you running. He can kill you passing. It's so if
mm,
oh yeah, they ended up giving them the ball on the 3. And there's
Jesus.
Kareem Hunt. There's Kareem Hunt. There's Kareem Hunt.
Did he just break a long run?
He just broke a long run. Right.
Yep.
I told you.
Jesus
I,
Christ.
I told you that game a couple weeks
You
ago.
just took my level of excitedness about this decision from LeBron retiring finally and just raised me the fact of I gotta listen about the Chiefs for an entire season when the AFC actually
Yes.
looks like it's soft as peanut butter. Oh, oh, I'm going home.
Bro, and you know Nick Wright. They win this game. You know Nick Wright. Go
And
be
then I
right up.
gotta listen to that crackhead up
He
here
gonna be on
talking
his
about this.
soapbox
Oh my
tomorrow.
God. They did not this either.
And this is what I'm always saying. Whether it's the Patriots, whether it's the Chiefs, when you have them down and you have a chance to take their moxie, Do
look at
it.
who they played. They only played the Chargers. Everybody else kind of just whiffed. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it to hell. Oh,
And
I'm
then
going home.
who is this number five? Whoever number five is, just torched them. He should have been caught before the first down line. He start moving and juking and shaking and moving. I'm telling you, they it's Brown, Hollywood Brown.
Oh,
I
God.
told you that confidence gonna come and it's about to get ugly. Everybody that automatically put somebody else at the top of they division, at the top of the AFC, you did it prematurely. Oh Jesus. How did you leave him that wide open?
Touchdown.
No, no, but he hit Thornton for a long one. So now it's first and goal.
They just went down the field. And that is United World of Sports. I'm Mr. J. That's Dante Suave. And I'm going to let him get back to watching the Chiefs while I go drown my sorrows.
Oh my God, this is great. God, I love it. I love it. I'm okay with being wrong, but people got to give me my flowers when I try to tell you. And now Patrick just ran in for the touchdown. Good Lord.
Good night, everybody.
All
I'm out of here.
right, later.
Peace.
Oh.